Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel. In this video, we will talk about top 10 budget travel destinations. So make sure to watch the full video. Which countries in the world offer the most value? Where can you travel that will allow you to go for longer, enjoy a higher standard, and save more money? The following are 10 destinations around the world that offer the essentials accommodation, transportation, and food for less. 1. Laos. Laos was one of the 2 destinations where I was able to keep my budget at $30 a day, even though the accommodation was slightly more expensive than most places in Southeast Asia at that time. Many of the amazing activities you can do in Laos are cheap. I paid $2.50 to see one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world, $7 for a full-day tubing experience along the Vang Vieng River, and $6 for an awesome tiger balm massage. You can also rent a motorbike for cheap and venture off the smaller towns, where everything is even cheaper. With more and more new hostels built to cater to the increasing number of backpackers, you can go for cheaper for longer. However, if you have a bit more to spend, you can get a gorgeous room for closer to $35, which would easily cost $100 in the US. 2. Vietnam. I probably had the healthiest and cheapest street food in Vietnam. Think a soup with rice noodles, cilantro, amazing broth, and a whole shank of pork for $1.50 or a cup of strong, aromatic coffee for $1. Regarding transportation, if you rent a motorbike, you are all set for the day. However, I understand that not everyone is comfortable riding a motorbike, especially in countries like Vietnam where the road traffic can be overwhelmingly chaotic. The good news is that GrabBike, similar to Uber but on bikes, is widely available in all major cities and the cost is as low as $0.50 for a 2 kilometers ride. Long-distance buses and trains are also affordable and reliable. Accommodation is similarly pleasant and easier to afford than almost anywhere else in the world. 3. Cambodia. I know for sure that if you choose to rough it, you can easily spend a month in Cambodia with just $1,000. Dorms are very basic but can be dirt cheap. The same goes for food and alcohol. I also have had my haggling skills to thank, as I was almost always able to talk my way out of being charged unfairly by the tuk-tuk drivers. There are some one-off expenses, such as the 3-day pass to Angkor Wat, which is currently set at $62, and diving trips that add up. But there will also be days of riding bicycle in a small village and eating cheap and delicious meat skewers when just $1 or $2 could stretch very far. 4. Northern Thailand. The north of Thailand is easy on a tight budget. As one moves south, costs for accommodation start to double, triple, and even quadruple. Stay up north if you are short on time and budget for your Thailand trip. Even in popular places like Chiang Mai and Pai, you can easily find basic dorms for less than $7. As far as activities go, you really do not need a lot of money to enjoy your day, as most activities such as visiting the White Temple, hiking, or gathering 3 other people from your hostel to rent a car and go on some day trips are all affordable. 5. Indonesia. The thing about Indonesia is that it can be really cheap or it can be quite expensive, depending on one big thing: transportation. Intercity traveling can be very time-consuming and costly, as is traveling from one island to another with a private boat. To save costs, stick with a region or 2. There's a lot to do and see, and spending more time in one place will only allow you to travel deeper and have a more meaningful experience anyway. 6. The Philippines. The Philippines archipelago can cost quite a lot of money and time to get around, and the hostel options aren't nearly as abundant as in other Southeast Asia countries. While these 2 factors seem like a big turnoff for travelers trying to stretch their budget as far as possible, there are ways to keep your travel costs in the Philippines low. If you choose to travel during shoulder seasons, book your flights and plan your journey way in advance. It is not the country to always wing it, and try to stick within 1 to 2 regions. The Philippines can still be affordable. On top of that, the country has some of the most gorgeous islands, beautiful dive sites, and hidden gems you'd have had to pay so much more to experience in other parts of the world. In that sense, the Philippines is worth every peso you spend. 7. Malaysia. Being one of the most economically developed Southeast Asian countries, Malaysia is often perceived as expensive. On top of that, when I visited Malaysia for the first time, a few people told me it wasn't worth staying long. However, I ended up meeting lots of locals, more able to communicate and find more common ground with them than I had in Cambodia or Laos, and had so much fun exploring Cameron Highlands, the jungles of Borneo, and the gorgeous islands. The cherry on top? They were all affordable. An overnight bus from Kuala Lumpur to the Perhentian Islands costs as little as $15. There are so many interesting local neighborhoods and markets that are free to explore. 8. Sri Lanka. Like many countries, Sri Lanka can be seen on a backpacker budget, or one can spend a small fortune there. The biggest kicker was the price of activities, such as safaris and admission into the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. With each running about $40 to $50 per ticket, this made Sri Lanka more expensive to fully explore. That said, Sri Lanka can be done on closer to $30 per day on the days that you don't pay for expensive activities. Food, transport, accommodation, and internet are relatively cheap. One thing to note about transportation is that in some cases, taking a taxi or Uber in major cities can be cheaper than renting a bike. 9. Nepal. Nepal is a very cheap country to travel through, with most food, accommodation, and transport running at just a few dollars if you eat, sleep, and travel using local options. For food, while I never seem to get any stomach problems eating street food in Nepal does not have the best reputation. You can get cheap and delicious home-cooked meals in local-run small cafes, though. Be very mindful when you book your accommodation online, as big corporations have taken over local homestays and turned them into boutique hotels and resorts. 10. Taiwan. Food in Taiwan is delicious and ridiculously cheap. If you are a foodie on a budget, you know where to go. In cities like Taipei and Tainan, you can register for their city bikes, which cost less than $0.50 per hour per ride and are free for the first 30 minutes. This means you can possibly get around the city all day without spending any money on transportation at all. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.